Welcome to Psychic Bent. My name is Carrie.
And I'm Kim. We are two sisters wanting to help other psychics learn and grow in their abilities and to help educate about spirits, angels, and everything psychic.
Welcome back, listeners, to Psychic Bent. Today we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to talk a little bit about what's going on in my life and impacts so many of our listeners. And then we're going to jump into this episode, which is going to be moon phases. But I just want to talk about the Hurricane Helena that came through and was very devastating to Western North Carolina. And obviously, I live in Western North Carolina. We are very lucky where I live that we were impacted mainly with, and this has been a week later after the hurricane hit, and we were impacted with no internet, no cell phone. That was corrected. And then we've been having problems with areas that were hit very hard that still cash only because internet's not working. Restaurants are doing their best to try to provide food for those who can't have food. There's people missing. So many died and the devastation. And it's just been for the empaths in us that are in this area and or just getting the social media impact. It's very hard. And the energy is very, very difficult to deal with. There's been a lot of meditation, a lot of trying to do releasing. And you see your friends that have gone through so much. You know, I have a friend that just got power the other day. Can you imagine living with no power for over a week? And there's people still without power in the Asheville area and beyond. There's cities that have been just destroyed. I wanted to bring that up because it's very difficult being psychic and having to live through a disaster. This was something you could not prepare for. There's a lot of speculation on Facebook. Why weren't they prepared? Well, we're in the mountains. We don't usually have this type of hurricane weather. And this is what they're calling a 1,000-year flood. So hopefully they're correct. It won't happen for another 1,000 years. But it's a good way of thinking of how you can deal with releasing energy that's not yours. It's very important, right? Whenever a tragedy like this happens, and it's something that just doesn't go away overnight. So it's a constant as they get into places that they haven't been able to get into because roads are gone. It's a lot for you. And I think it's good to understand that, you know, we do have, like I said, we do have listeners in North Carolina that were affected. And hopefully everybody is fine. You know, there's homes that are lost, and it's that energy is just out there, and you can't help but absorb everything. We have the LA Fire Department here that has come all the way from Los Angeles. We have FEMA that has come from Nebraska, from Minnesota. People have come from all over. We've got Casino has one tower dedicated to just the responders, so they have a place to stay. Because there's no place to stay because everything's closed down except for, luckily, Cherokee was not hit as hard. I just wanted to make it, and I know I'm rambling, but it's so important to really, during times like this, to learn how to release energy that's not yours, because it's emotional. You can't even just turn on the news now without having all of that come back in. So anybody want to send good vibes our way? Absolutely. We are safe, most of us, but it's been a very difficult time. And I just wanted to acknowledge it because it has been very emotional in our end. We couldn't do the podcast last week, obviously, because I had no internet, no cell phone, but we were safe. And that's all that mattered.
Right. And it's every time anyone leaves their home, even, and go to the store or whatever, they're picking up that every day.
Yes.
Because different people are in those areas, leaving their energy there as well. So it does become extremely overwhelming.
It does. You go to the grocery store and there's no meat. So then you've got that energy of people that are trying to get groceries and there's no meat. You know, there's getting low on things. There's no eggs, right. There's no milk. Then you got that emotion of people, and it's getting better. Unfortunately, we have a grocery store called Ingles, and their warehouse was wiped out in Asheville, and our food bank Manna was wiped out in Asheville. So it really put a strain on an already bad situation. And then you got people trying to get gas. Gas stations were running out of gas because there were, at the time, we still have gas stations that are running out, but it's getting better. It's getting better. But you get that
Right.
energy when you go.
Mm-hmm.
You just went to one gas station, they don't have gas, now you have to go to another one, and that you're picking up all that energy, and it's very, very difficult.
Right. Right. So you're right. Just everybody needs to let it go, release it every
Yes.
day.
And you got to recognize it. So it's just important because, like, I'm having to do releasing more than I've ever had to do before, and just kind of being very mindful, very mindful. And I think I've done more meditation in this past week. Unfortunately, when the hurricane hit, I was in Illinois at a class reunion, and my father was here,
Uh-huh.
and the national news didn't start covering the devastation until Monday. The hurricane hit on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
All the information I was getting was, of course, on social media, and those were able to go to, like, the casino had cell phone coverage, and that, with their Wi-Fi. So people were going to the casino, to do that, to message people and let them know they're safe. And I had to try to figure out how to get home because the highway I take from North Carolina to Tennessee to head to Illinois is gone in several sections of it are gone. But so that highway is closed indefinitely. And I didn't know how I was going to get home. It was like, what's open? Well, so many roads were closed. And poor Kim and her husband were my co-pilots as I was journeying home on that Monday, after the hurricane, to try to find an open road to get back into North Carolina, because we're basically closed. Western North Carolina at this point is closed.
Right.
So the rescue workers can get in there and do what they need to do. And the linemen are working so hard. Unfortunately, 2 lost their lives the other day. But there's so much, and again, that's that energy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be okay.
Yep.
So that leads us to our episode for today.
Yeah.
Sorry for that.
Well, it's good to explain it and reassure everybody on what they can do to help try to deal with this on a psychic empathic level. So, very good. All right, so on this episode, we are going to be discussing the lunar phases and full moon and how it involves or how it affects psychics and such. So, Carrie, would you like to start us off with the moon?
Okay, well, we're just going to dive into understanding the spiritual meaning of the moon phases. There's so much to the moon. Everybody always jokes about the full moon. Okay, the crazies are coming out. It's the full moon, blah, 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 which, it is true. But there's many phases to the moon. So we're going to go over what those are. The lunar cycle is made up of 29 and a half days in which it takes our moon to circle the Earth. The moon has 8 phases with very unique names. We have the new moon, the waxing crescent, the first quarter, the waxing gibbous, the full moon, the waning gibbous, third quarter, and waning crescent. Each phase represents a different stage of the moon cycle, which is also connected to our spiritual journey. And I know we don't really think about it like that, do we?
No, we don't.
It's like, what does the moon have to do with my spiritual journey? During the new moon, we may feel a sense of new beginnings and setting intentions, while the full moon may represent a time of reflection and releasing negative energies. And understanding the connection between the moon phases and our spiritual development can help us harness that lunar energy and to help enhance our growth. In Yoruba religion, the moon is associated with the Orisha Obatala, who is considered the creator of the universe. According to Yoruba mythology, Obatala was responsible for creating humans and imbuing them with divine energy. The 8 phases of the moon are believed to represent the different aspects of Obatala's creative energy, with each phase having its unique spiritual significance. Similarly, in Santeria, the moon is associated with Orisha Ashan, who is considered the goddess of love, beauty, and fertility. Ashan is often depicted as a beautiful woman who embodies the feminine aspects of creation. The phases of the moon are believed to represent different aspects of Ashan's energy, with each phase holding its unique spiritual significance. The moon also has a deep spiritual connection within Wicca and pagan religions, where it is revered as a symbol of divine feminine. In Wicca, the moon represents the goddess and her feminine energy of creating and nurturing, while in pagan religions, it is often associated with the triple goddess, representing maiden, mother, and crone.
I had found that there were also, well, I have a condensed symbolic meanings associated with the moon. For example, cycles and phases. The moon's ever changing appearance symbolizes cycles and the passage of time. It's a reminder that the constant change in life and that the natural ebb and flow of things. It reminds us of that. And as you said, with the femininity and motherhood are often associated with female deities. The moon is seen as a symbol of femininity, motherhood, and nurturing energy. Its soft glow is often contrasted with the harsher, more masculine energy of the sun. So we have the dark and the light. And emotions and intuition. The moon is often linked to the emotional and subconscious aspect of the mind. It may symbolize intuition, dreams, and the unconscious. Growth and manifestation. Now, that's the different phases of the moon are often used to symbolize stages of growth or the process of manifesting desires, especially in the spiritual or mystical practices, as you mentioned earlier. Illumination and guidance. As a source of light in the darkness, the moon can symbolize illumination, insight, and guidance. It can represent a guiding force or clarity of thought in dark times. It also has the mystery and the magic. The moon's connection to the night and its influence on tides and nature have led to associations with mystery, magic, and otherworldly power. Duality and balance. The moon's relationship with the sun has led to its symbolizing duality, such as light and dark, male, female, conscious, unconscious. Its presence helps to create a balance between these opposites. And then the last one that I had was transformation and renewal. Its phases from new to full and back again make the moon a powerful symbol of transformation, renewal, and rebirth.
It's really interesting, Kim. You really don't, until you delve into this kind of research, you really don't realize how much the moon in each phase really affects you.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's really interesting. All right, so we're going to jump into, we'll start with the full moon. How about that?
Okay.
So the full moon, we're going to celebrating the divine feminine, is often associated with, like we were talking about earlier, with nurturing and the feminine side, creative and intuitive aspects of ourselves. The full moon represents a time of abundance, growth, and celebration. It is the perfect time to tap into our intuition, reflect on our achievements, and connect with our inner selves. The full moon rituals and practices can help us harness the power of the lunar energy to enhance our spiritual growth. For example, we may perform rituals to release negative energies, meditate, or journal about our intentions and aspirations. In fact, each month's full moon has its own unique name and spiritual properties. In the Yoruba religion, the full moon is associated with the Orisha Yemaya, who is considered the goddess of the ocean and motherhood. Yemaya is often depicted as a motherly figure who embodies the nurturing and protective qualities of motherhood. The full moon is believed to be a time when Yemaya's energy is at its strongest, making it the ideal time for spiritual rituals related to motherhood, nurturing, and protection. Similarly, in the Santeria, the full moon is associated with Ashan, who is considered the goddess of love and fertility. The full moon is believed to be a time when Ashan's energy is the strongest, making it an ideal time for spiritual rituals related to love, fertility, and feminine energy. During the full moon, Yoruba and Santeria practitioners may perform rituals such as offering fruits and flowers to their orishas, lighting candles and performing spiritual baths to cleanse their energy and connect with the divine feminine. In Wicca and pagan faiths, the full moon phase represents the feminine energy of creation and nurturing and is considered a powerful time for spiritual practice and magical workings. It is associated with the triple goddess, representing the mother aspect, symbolizing fertility, nurturing, and feminine power. The full moon rituals involve honoring the goddesses, setting intentions, reflecting on achievements, and releasing negative energies. Specific deities and goddesses may be associated with the full moon in these faiths.
So, celebrating achievements, embracing gratitude, and engaging in self reflection are all things, as you said, involving with the full moon. It is a time to honor yourself and others and give thanks for the blessings in your life. Do activities that make you feel joyful and fulfilled. Spend quality time with loved ones. Practice gratitude and indulge in a special treat or self care ritual. Now, the rainbow moonstone is known for enhancing intuition and connecting to the divine feminine energy and resonates with energy of the full moon.
And it's pretty.
Is it pretty?
I've got a couple of those, obviously. But
Yeah.
I think I've got a moonstone bracelet.
Oh, cool.
Yep. All right. Our next one is the waning moon, letting go and releasing what no longer serves you. Now, Kim, you want to describe what the waning moon looks like?
Okay. The waning moon, the moon starts to shrink from the full moon and the illumination decreases on the right side. So it starts getting darker on the right side. More than half is still visible, but it's visibly smaller than the full moon itself. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yep. So it almost looks full, but it's not.
It almost looks full, but it's not. It's got a little chunk out of it.
So the waning moon phase includes the waning crescent and the waning gibbous phases. During the waning moon phase, the illuminated portion of the moon visible from Earth is gradually decreasing, like we Kim said, moving towards the new moon phase. This phase represents the final stages of release and letting go and is associated with closure and completion. It is a time for introspection, healing, tying up loose ends before the new moon phase begins. So this is a perfect time for you to do some healing meditation, try to let go, release things that don't serve you. This is the perfect time to do that. In Wicca and pagan faiths, the waning crescent is associated with the crone aspect of the triple goddess, representing wisdom, introspection, and the passage of time. This phase is a time to reflect on the past, release what no longer serves us, and prepare for new beginnings. In the Yoruba and Santeria, the waning crescent is associated with Orisha Oya, who is considered the goddess of the winds and change. Oya is often depicted as a powerful and transformative figure who embodies the energy of change and transition. The waning crescent is believed to be a time when Oya's energy is its strongest, making it an ideal time for spiritual rituals related to transformation, endings, and releasing old patterns. Now, during the waning gibbous phase, the illuminated portion of the moon visible from Earth is gradually decreasing, moving towards the last quarter phase. This phase represents a time of reflection, review, and adjustment. It is a time to evaluate our progress, reassess our goals, and make any necessary changes before the next lunar cycle begins. In Wicca and pagan faiths, the waning gibbous is associated with the crone aspect of the triple goddess, representing wisdom, introspection, and the passage of time. This phase is a time to reflect on our achievements, release what no longer serves us, and make space for new growth and opportunities. In Yoruba and Santeria, the waning gibbous is associated with Orisha Akchosi, who is considered the god of hunting and justice. Akchosi is often depicted as a wise and observant figure who embodies the energy of review and adjustment. The waning gibbous is believed to be a time when Akchosi's energy is its strongest, making it an ideal time for spiritual rituals related to reflection, review, and adjustment. And it's interesting how all of these different practices all have the similar meanings for each moon phase. Reflection, review, release. I just find that interesting.
Yeah, I find it very interesting. Earlier, I gave the description of waning gibbous, and Now, the description of waning crescent, which I did not give earlier, my fault, I neglected to do that. That is when the moon continues to shrink, leaving a thin silver crescent on the left-hand side. It's the last visible phase before returning to the new moon. So with the gibbous, as you said, it's this phase is letting go what no longer serves you and giving thanks for what you've learned. So release and let go of the old patterns or habits. Reflect on lessons learned and express gratitude for what is going on. And you can engage in relaxing techniques such as deep breathing or yoga, declutter your space, journal your reflections, and focus on what you need to release. Rose quartz is a symbol of love and compassion, and use it to practice gratitude and share love with others during this phase of the moon, the waning gibbous. And lavender and cedar combined together is a very grounding and calming earthly scent that fosters reflection and release. As for the waning crescent, that symbolizes a time of surrender, rest, and healing. Fully let go, rest, and prepare for the new cycle to come. Surrendering to the natural flow of life, resting and rejuvenating your energy. And then you can focus on sleep and rest, gentle exercise like stretching or Tai Chi. Then nourish your body with comforting food and take time to be still. Perfect time to enlist the help of an eye mask, And then amethyst promotes rest and spiritual rejuvenation. So place it near your bed or meditate with it to align with the relaxing energy of the waning crescent moon.
Very interesting. So the dark moon specifically refers to the period between the waning crescent moon and the new moon, when the moon is not visible at all. This period is also called the dead moon or moonless night and lasts for about 3 days. The dark moon represents a time of introspection, reflection, and embracing our shadow self. Our shadow self represents a part of ourselves that we try to hide or suppress, such as our fears, insecurities, negative emotions. Embracing our shadow self can be challenging, but can also be a catalyst for spiritual growth. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard of shadow work.
Yes, I have.
That's hard work to do. If you're going to embrace this dark moon, and it's hard to address your fears and your insecurities and your negative emotions, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So but it does help with your spiritual growth. It helps you release some of these insecurities.
Mm-hmm. Kind of helps you silence ego a little bit too, though.
Yeah. So the dark moon rituals and practices can help us connect with our shadow selves and release negative energies. For example, you may perform rituals to acknowledge our fears and insecurities, meditate on self-love, or journaling about our inner struggles. And I know that's hard to do, like we said, but it helps with your spiritual growth, makes you a stronger individual, and it raises your vibration as you release the negative energies. And we all have it. There's no one that's not running around with these negative energy from our shadow selves.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Makes sense.
In the Yoruba faith, the dark moon is associated with Orisha Oya, who is the goddess of change and transformation. Oya is often depicted as a warrior-like figure who embodies the power of transformation and change. The dark moon is believed to be a time when Oya's energy is at its strongest, making it an ideal time for spiritual rituals related to transformation, change, and growth. Similarly, in Santeria, the dark moon is associated with the Orisha Elegua, who is considered the trickster deity and the guardian of the crossroads. The dark moon is believed to be a time when Elegua's energy is at its strongest, making it an ideal time for spiritual rituals related to change, transformation, and decision-making. During the dark moon, Yoruba and Santeria practitioners may perform rituals such as offering sacrifices, meditating on change and transformation, or taking spiritual baths to cleanse their energy and connect with the power of the dark moon. Within the Wicca and pagan faiths, The dark moon phase is considered a time of release, letting go, and inner reflection. The dark moon represents the crone aspect of the triple goddess, symbolizing wisdom, transformation, and the end of cycles. It is a time to delve into the subconscious, facing and releasing our fears and negative energies. Dark moon rituals and practices may involve banishing spells, meditation, and divination to gain insight into one's inner self. It's a time to embrace the darkness and prepare for new beginnings that will come with the next lunar cycle.
That's interesting.
Now, that was the dark moon. Did you want to do anything on the dark moon?
I don't have anything on the dark moon.
Okay, so that leads us to the new moon, a time for setting intentions and renewal. A new moon is the phase of the moon when it looks completely dark. This happens when the moon and sun are lined up exactly. The sunlight doesn't reach the side of the moon facing Earth during a new moon, which makes it look dark. The new moon represents a time of renewal, new beginnings, and setting intentions. It's the perfect time to start fresh, set new goals, and make change in our lives. The new moon represents a time of hope, possibility, and unlimited potential. Now, new moon rituals and practices can help us connect with our inner selves, set intentions, and create a roadmap for achieving our goals. For example, we may perform rituals to visualize our future selves, meditate on self-discovery, or create action plans for achieving our goals. In both Yoruba religion and Santeria, the new moon is associated with the Orisha Orula, who is considered the god of divination and wisdom. Orula is often depicted as a wise and knowledgeable figure who embodies the energy of setting intentions and renewal, making the new moon an ideal time for spiritual rituals related to setting intentions, renewal, and spiritual growth when his energy is believed to be at its strongest. During the new moon, Yoruba and Santeria practitioners may perform rituals such as meditating on their intentions, making offerings to their deities, or participating in spiritual baths to cleanse their energy and renew their spiritual connection. For Wiccans and pagans, the new moon phase is a time for new beginnings, setting intentions, and starting fresh. It is a time to plant seeds, start projects, and focus on personal growth. This phase is associated with the maiden aspect of the triple goddess, symbolizing new beginnings, potential, and youthful energy. I could use some youthful energy.
I think we can all do that. So this is a time for renewal and restarts, as you said, and you want to practice self-care by embracing the quiet night and make time for journaling about goals and intentions, and perhaps light a cleansing candle like one made with rosemary and lemon. The crystal labradorite can help you regain energy, heal physically, and nourish your spirit. You know, you can pull a tarot card or an affirmation card to help clarify your intentions and try to build a vision board for your specific intentions and manifestations for the new lunar month. Okay. So I think that the next phase that you're going to be discussing is the waxing moons, I believe.
Yes, the crescent and gibbous.
Okay, so the waxing crescent is a phase, it appears as a thin silver of illumination or illuminating light on the right side of the moon. It symbolizes growth, intention, and hope. And the waxing gibbous is more than half of the moon is illuminated, but it's not yet full. The illuminated part continues to grow, covering the right side of the moon's surface.
So the waxing moon, manifesting your dreams and desires. The waxing moon phases include, like Kim said, the waxing crescent and the waxing gibbous phases. During this phase, the moon appears to be growing in size, is more and more as it becomes visible each night. The waxing moon phase follows the new moon and precedes the full moon in the lunar cycle. The waxing moon phase is a time of growth, manifestation in the lunar cycle, and it's the ideal phase for setting intentions, visualizing dreams and desires, and acting toward our goals. In Wicca and paganism, the waxing crescent and waxing gibbous phases are considered to have different spiritual meanings. The waxing crescent phase symbolizes a period of initiating new journeys, embarking on new ventures, and establishing purposeful goals. It is a time to focus on what we want to achieve and act towards our goals. The waxing gibbous, on the other hand, represents a time of perseverance, determination, and overcoming obstacles. It is a time to stay focused on our goals and push through any challenges that may arrive. In Yoruba and Santeria religions, the waxing moon is associated with Orisha Shango and Ogun, respectively. Shango embodies the energy of manifestation and abundance, while Ogun represents success and entrepreneurship. During the waxing moon phase, practitioners may perform candle rituals, making offerings, or take a spiritual bath to manifest their desires and cleanse their energy. Regardless of the spiritual beliefs, the waxing moon phase is a time of abundance, positivity, and making it an ideal time to attract what you want into our lives. By setting intentions and taking actions toward our goals during this time, we can harness the energy of the waxing moon to manifest our dreams and desires.
Okay, so the waxing crescent, during this phase, definitely focus on nurturing yourself and your dreams. Start a new habit that aligns with your intentions, like reciting daily affirmation or writing in your journal. The crystal citrine is a stone known to encourage motivation, creativity, and self expression. Hold it during visualization exercises to focus your energy on growth and attracting your desire. Now, grapefruit and spearmint combined inspires action and awakens the senses. In your journal, write down small, attainable steps you can take towards your larger goal and growth. And as for the waxing gibbous, this phase urges us to analyze our progress, make necessary adjustments, and hone our path towards our goals. This is a period to be diligent, detail-oriented, and mindful of the larger picture while remaining committed to our intentions. So be patient but persistent. Focus on adjustments, perseverance, and aligning closer to your intentions. Indulge in activities that require attention to detail, like painting or writing. Clear quartz is a universal amplifier. Use it to clarify your thoughts and prepare your mind for success. Eucalyptus and lavender together is a calming blend to help focus the mind, allowing for refinement and preparation of plans. Now, I do have a question for you, Carrie. Was there anything in your research that involved the quarter moons? The first quarter and the last quarter?
No,
No?
no, but why don't you jump on in and tell us all about it?
Well, it's not going to be as detailed as what you had.
Well, that's okay.
Okay. The first quarter moon comes between the waxing crescent moon and the waxing gibbous moon. And it is when half of the moon is illuminated, forming a clear right hand semicircle. This is the halfway point between the new moon and the full moon and symbolizes a time of action, decisions, and commitment. As intentions set during the new moon begin to manifest, it's a period to reassess, make some adjustments, and move forward with determination, and make decisions and put in efforts towards achieving your goals. Take actions and overcome obstacles. This is where you're tweaking things from the seed planting stage of the new moon to the full moon where it's coming into fruition. And then you need to tweak as you go, make adjustments in your life, your thought process, your intentions to get to the goal that you're wanting to manifest for that moon cycle. Take action and overcome obstacles. Engage in physical activities that align with your goals. Meditate to gain clarity. Make plans and set concrete steps to achieve them. As I said earlier, clear quartz is known for amplifying the energy and thought. It does aid in the clarity of the mind. The last quarter moon now, that comes between Its half of the moon is illuminated, forming a clear left-hand semicircle. It comes between the waning gibbous moon and the waning crescent moon. It's the mirror image of the first quarter, so this symbolizes of time for reflection, reassessment, and forgiveness. It's a period to release burdens and prepare for a new beginning. So you've reached your full moon status where you've setting the intentions and what you need to do there. You've gone through the gibbous. Now you're in the last quarter where it's a period to release the burdens and prepare for a new beginning. Reflect on the past cycle. Forgive yourself and others and let go of any remaining burdens you may be carrying. Engage in practices like reading, relaxing, or spending quiet time in nature. Now, amethyst is known for its calming and soothing energy and aiding in meditation and spiritual growth. Frankincense is an ancient and spiritual scent that can aid in forgiveness, release, and introspection. So those are the things that I found about the first and the last quarter moon phases.
Very interesting. So why don't we jump into moon magic? Moon magic is the art of using lunar energy to enhance your spiritual growth and manifest your desires. It involves tapping into the energy of the moon phases, setting intentions, and performing rituals to connect with our inner selves. Moon magic practices and rituals can be tailored to suit our personal preferences and spiritual beliefs. You may use crystals, candles, incense, and ritual and magical oils to enhance your rituals. The key is to find practices that resonates with you and aligns with your intentions. And that's been the key thing we have promoted from the very beginning is what resonates with you, what feels good with you, what are you drawn to. And so it's going to be the use do that the same with this particular using moon magic practices. Crystals, candles, incense, those are things that are just I think very common in my practice.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of incense, candles, crystals, and I do have some oils. So again, find what resonates with you on how you want to utilize the moon magic or the moon energy, however you want to call it.
Right.
In addition to specific rituals and practices associated with the moon phase, in the Yoruba and Santeria practitioners may also tap into the spiritual power of lunar energy through moon magic. The moon magic is the practice of using energy of the moon to manifest desires, attract positive energies, and enhance spiritual growth. Moon magic may involve practices such as charging crystal under the light of the moon, using your lunar energy to create sigils or talismans, or performing rituals to harness the energy of specific moon phases. The Yoruba and Santeria practitioners may also incorporate certain natural elements into their moon magic practices for enhancing their effectiveness. For example, mugwort is used in rituals related to the moon to enhance clairvoyance, divination, psychic abilities during lunar ceremonies. It's believed to have connections to the goddess of the moon, and its spiritual properties are thought to aid in assessing the lunar energies and intuition. Mugwort may be burned, used in baths, or placed under a pillow to enhance its effects during moon rituals. In addition to mugwort, like Kim had mentioned, lavender, jasmine, sandalwood, and myrrh. These oils and herbs help enhance spiritual connection, promote relaxation, and attract positive energy. Now, in the Wicca and pagan faiths, moon magic is a powerful tool for connecting with lunar energy and enhancing spiritual growth. Each moon phase is associated with specific rituals and practices that can be tailored to an individual's spiritual beliefs and intentions. Wiccans and pagans also use crystals, candles, incense, and ritual oils to enhance their moon magic rituals. Now, during the full moon, I do put my crystals all out, and the moon energy, whether you can see the full moon or not, the energy's still there.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's a cloudy night and it's a full moon, and you're still going to get that energy. I get asked that all the time. Oh, it's cloudy. It's still going to work on, can I still make moon water, or can I, still put my stones out? And absolutely, that energy is still there.
Yeah.
Even if you can't see the moon, it's still there.
Right. Right. Yep. I agree.
Now, understanding the spiritual sign. Oh, and side note, like I said before, where I live, I lost stones to a raccoon. So when you put your stones out, make sure you're putting them out in a safe spot during the full moon, so the local habitat does not take it.
Exactly.
So, very important side note.
Yep.
Raccoons like shiny.
Yes, they do.
So do crows. So you do have to be careful.
Ah.
Yeah. The moon is a powerful tool for personal growth and manifestation. Understanding the spiritual significance of moon phases is a very powerful tool for your growth and for manifesting. Each moon phase represents a unique aspect of our spiritual journey, and by connecting with the lunar energy, we can enhance our spiritual growth and achieve our goals. In many spiritual faiths, the moon holds a special place, a source of spiritual power and energy. The moon phases are associated with specific deities and with unique meanings and rituals. By understanding these spiritual connections, practitioners of these religions can deepen their spiritual practice. Now, I'm a believer, and this is just Carrie, that I kind of take a little bit from everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I might like how this particular, like the candles and stuff, and the different colors. I'm kind of drawn to that. So I take a little bit of that, and I take a little bit from that. So I really don't have a defined religion. I'm just spiritual. But, so you don't have to pick a belief either. You know what I'm saying? It's what do you resonate with? If you're drawn towards a certain practice, then that's what you're supposed to, try it out. Research it, though, first to see how to do that practice correctly.
Right.
And then go for it. I mean, if it's resonating with you, that's what you should do.
Yeah, correctly is the key, though.
Yes, correctly is the key. Yes, I mean, if you're drawn to a specific practice, you need to research the good, the bad, how to, if you're going to do spells or whatnot, if you're drawn to that kind of thing, you need to have an understanding of the karma that goes with such things.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not trying to manifest things that can come back on you tenfold. So it's always good to do your research and see what you really are drawn to, what really is your path.
Right.
And sometimes you have to try a couple different things before you finally find your path, because if we are human and we have free will, and sometimes we don't want to listen to spirit when spirit's talking to us. And not sometimes, but a good majority of the time. And, so you may have to try several different things on before you find what really feels good for you.
Right. Right. And it's good just to explore things out there.
Well, absolutely. When we first started our development, because you didn't understand things, so you kind of like, well, I don't understand this, so I'm going to stay away from this.
Yeah.
That looks scary. I don't know about that. We've had, many conversations over the years on different practices, and just kind of like, what, let's just figure this out. Let's just research it and see what we come up with.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like with anything, the more you're more empowered with the more you know.
Yeah, that's true in everyday life too.
Yes. The more that you research and learn on your spiritual, like, what, the moon magic may not appeal to you, and that's okay. But it's good to understand that if it's a full moon and you're getting this energy, if you're going through a really tough time and you're like, okay, I need to release some stuff, I'm going to go back to the full moon episode and see
Mm-hmm.
what phase do I need to do this, because it's an important thing in your life and you need to let it go. So there's a lot of different aspects that you can choose to go with in your spiritual growth and spiritual journey. It may not be where you're at yet, but it might be something that triggers in your life down the road. And you're like, oh, wait, I think I'm gonna research that a little more and try to see what that's like. So that's kind of what I feel about the full moon stuff.
Well,
and everything,
yeah, I found that the full moon is a powerful event in the world and can have a very profound effect on psychics.
Oh, yeah.
Because it messes with the tides and everything on the planet and everything. And it has always been associated with increased energy and heightened emotions and, of course, the spiritual awakenings. And that the energy of the full moon, it can be channeled to improve your abilities and open up new ways of insight and guidance. And many psychics believe that their intuition is heightened and allows them to gain a greater insight into people and situations. So they may find that they are able to actually see beyond what meets the eye and pick up on the subtleness that normally goes unnoticed by people. and that your dreams actually become more vivid and intense during the full moon. I don't know if you've noticed that, but I have noticed that my dreams are actually more intense, definitely, whenever the full moon's happening. There are others that find the intensity of the energy kind of a little too difficult to focus, or maybe become overwhelmed with too much information. So it can impact you. It's not just the rituals and intentions and such, but as psychics, we are impacted by the energy of the moon, whether it's in the new moon phase or the full moon phase. So we also have to make certain that we are practicing grounding while we are doing these things with the moon magic, as you're calling it.
Yes, I think it's really interesting that all the age focus of whatever phase the moon is in, it's a time of helping yourself, whether it's releasing, whether you're taking a psychic bath, you're putting focus on you, which is very important because especially in this day and age, how much time do you have just for you? So I think it's a very mindful part of your spiritual growth and practice to recognize these phases and have that work for you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mentioned moon water earlier, and so I'm not sure if people are familiar with what moon water is, so I'm going to touch on that for a moment.
Okay.
Now, moon water, okay, so a little background. The moon, obviously, we talked about is to handle subtle consciousness change, intuitive aspects, but moon water is basically, moon water is water that's been charged by the moon. So you create moon water by leaving water outdoors to charge under the moonlight. Because the moon affects the ocean's tides, like Kim talked about, there's already an energetic connection between the element of water and the moon. So you can add a crystal or two, as long as it doesn't end in ite, to your water. And you could use that for, leave it out overnight under the full moon. You could use it for watering your plants. You could add it to a ritual bath. You could use it to cleanse your home. The moon water works for a couple of reasons. The first is because the nature of the element of water. Water is receptive. It holds energy. Our intention of whatever it is that we've imbued in this water. In the case of moon water, it acts like a psychic sponge. So it's a really great practice. If you've not done moon water before, you should try it. The water becomes sort of a talisman, holding onto planetary energy in the moon for us that you could use for, rituals. The vibration and energy of the moon water you charge will depend on moon signs and as well as the phases, because the moon is at its strongest, most vibrant and potential manifestation during the full moon. That is the time that you usually create the moon water.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You can also make moon water during the gibbous moon, which the moon is almost full.
Mm-hmm.
Never make moon water during an eclipse, because the eclipse energy overpowers lunar energy. So it's not a good time to do that kind of work. So that's very important. Whichever lunar phase you choose, check which zodiac sign the moon is in, because that can affect your energy of the moon water. For example, moon water charged under full moon in Taurus, which is ruled by Venus, will encourage love and pleasure, while moon water charged under a full moon in Gemini, ruled by Mercury, can help claim your voice.
Interesting.
Yeah, normally you could put things like rose quartz, clear quartz, or amethyst in the moon water if you want. A mason jar, is a clear jar is usually what I use. You can do a Tupperware if you want. I recommend putting it up so an animal doesn't get into it while you're trying to charge it. You can charge it. It doesn't have to be outside. If you have, you could have it in the window. It seems like outside is better. I don't know why. You can use bottled water, tap water, river water. Just make sure whatever water you use is like safe drinking water.
Mm-hmm.
And just put a label on it when you're done. Cleansing herbs you could add to your moon water. It's optional. You don't have to do it. Mugwort, lavender, rosemary, sweetgrass. And just set intentions, to focus on your moon water, such as peace, love, acceptance. I mean, those are all things you can do. And I mean, you could use the moon water to clean your altar or your sacred space or your crystals. You could add it to if you're doing a ritual bath, you could add it to that. clean your floors, you can do that as well. You water your plants. If you add the oils to it, it be very fragrant. Some nice to spray the room. You can spray your room with it. Put it in a bottle with a spray. You can drink it. You can put it on your body. It just kind of feels, you can make a tea with herbs and drink it that way. You can sprinkle moon water in the corners of your space to invite moon energy to cleanse and clear your home of negativity and stagnant energy. It's just so much you could do with moon water.
Right.
Manifestation. It's just endless. I would definitely research moon water because it's a nice way to harness that energy.
And it's all natural.
Yes.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there since I did mention moon water, and I just kind of left it there.
No, I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
It's all interesting, Carrie. Did you have anything else?
Well, yeah, I was going to touch on real quickly with the moon water, the different signs, like with Aries, which is a fire sign, you can make moon water to balance out your flare. Make moon water under a water sign moon if you want to work magic around healing your heart or your emotions. Use this water to anoint your heart and pour over yourself in the shower or add essential oils to it and use it as a room spray. Now, Taurus, you're a stubborn fixed sign. Beloved Taurus, so make moon water under a fire sign moon to get into the passion and power of your body, and make it under a water moon to really channel the relaxation you so love and deserve. Use this moon water for a face mask, to clean your altar, make fire cider, or whatever else invigorates the Taurus. Now, Gemini, making moon water under a Gemini or Sagittarius moon to channel your creativity, your vision, and your expression. It's always a party for you, dear Gemini, so use this tool to make life even more of a party. Use moon water in creating offerings of art and self-expression, whether you're painting with watercolors or planting a garden.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, isn't it? Cancer is the only zodiac sign ruled by the moon.
Huh.
You may as well divine deep into this and make moon water during a Cancer moon or whatever water sign moon. Use this moon water to tap more deeply into your heart in rituals of self-love, whether in the bath, for a face mask, or to drink the lunar energy you're so connected to.
Well, that's real interesting.
Yeah. Now, Leo is the only zodiac sign that's ruled by the sun. You can make moon water to balance out the legendary solar flares of yours. Use water made under a Cancer moon to really tap into the lunar energy and use it in rituals and intuition. Is a candlelit bath and water, or for scrying with, or making ink for automatic writing.
Oh, cool.
Now, Virgo, make moon water under the Pisces moon to tap into the opposite end of your zodiac axis. Beloved Virgo, use moon water to create art in the name of your mystic expressions, whether by watercoloring, tie-dyeing, or anything that's messy. Kim would not like that.
No.
You don't like messy crafts.
No, I don't.
So basically, enjoy the ride. Allow the Pisces moon to bless you with more cosmic surrender and chaos, no matter how awkward it may seem. Kim doesn't like chaos.
No, I don't.
No. Libra, if you've been trouble focusing on the big picture or making big decisions, make moon water under a fire sign moon. This is to empower yourself to move through the tides of life without getting lost in the sauce. Drink the moon water when you're working on a big project that needs focus. Wash your face with it and to bless yourself with its energy.
Taking notes on that one.
Okay. Okay, Scorpio, why not claim the potent power of your intuitive magic and make moon water under a Scorpio moon? You can charge the moon water with energy that pertains to rebirth. You can use it to cleanse your energy. You could also use it as an offering on your altar.
Interesting.
Enough said.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, Sagittarius, make moon water under the Aquarius moon or any other air sign moon to channel the visionary adventure of the sign. Aquarius energy can help keep you in line with your goals. You can drink the moon water, water plants with it, or use it as an ingredient in your floor wash to clean your space. Capricorn, so that's a sea goat. After all, use moon water under a water moon sign to help you relax, surrender, and enjoy. Make some moon water and then load up a bath with Epsom salt, lunar herbs like jasmine and mugwort, and enjoy a good soak. That just sounds nice. Bring back peace, presence, and tranquility. Allow the wash away any tension so you can ebb and flow as the moon does. That is so me.
Very interesting. Yeah, so you, definitely.
Yes, yes. Aquarius, you may be the water bearer, beloved Aquarius, but you still are air sign. Use moon water to feel more and think less. Get creative. Use it to paint with watercolors or clean paintbrushes with it. You could make sigils with using and making Indian ink with the water. You could use it in beauty rituals or as a way of self-love and to help fill power to your heart.
That sounds nice.
And the final one is Pisces. We can't forget Pisces. Use moon water made under a fire moon to amp up your creativity and visions. Use it in rituals to balance out your watery nature by using it as an offering alongside candle magic. You could even place a jar candle in the bowl of moon water to balance out the solar and lunar influences within you. Use this water to wash your body, your face, and clean your space and to create some creative energy.
Cool. So many different things you can do.
Oh, absolutely. And that's another thing. You can go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Once you start researching, there's a lot to do with the moon.
Oh, yeah. We didn't even cover half. There's so much more out there that we didn't even cover. So, got to leave some out there for research.
We could do a whole episode just on moon water.
Yeah.
There's just so much.
Yeah. So much out there.
And obviously, I mean, the moon does tie in with astrology and everything else we've gone over. So it's a nice addition to our psychic toolbox.
Oh, I agree. And it explains a lot of the things that people feel whenever the moon is going through its different phases and such. It does explain a lot why we feel discombobulated and all kinds of stuff during that full moon, why people act crazy during the full moon. It's because they are really being impacted by it, by the energy flow.
Oh, absolutely. And the more grounded that you try to become during each phase can help you with the energy that you feel, especially during a full moon, help you be a little less crazy.
Well, I like to think that we're grounded and the others are not, so they're the crazy ones out there.
Running amok.
Running amok.
Yes, running amok. Kim, did you have anything else on moon phases, moon water, anything moon related?
No, I think that covers everything that I had on the moon. Yeah, that's all I've got.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay. I do want to say that Carrie and I do try our best to pronounce things correctly. We are not fluent in any language, especially English. So if we have pronounced something incorrectly, pronounced a name wrong, or something like that, please forgive us. There's no intention to say it incorrectly. We do try to do our best to get the proper pronunciation of things, but sometimes it just fails us. So if we have offended anyone, please accept our apologies. We did not mean to offend anyone on how we pronounce the names in this episode. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Okay.
That's it. That's all I have on full moons and the moon cycles.
Did we mispronounce the names?
No, I just... We may. I mean, let's be honest. I just don't want anyone in future to get offended if we pronounce something incorrectly as far as a name.
Well, I do think you have to keep in mind as well as different regions pronounce things differently as well.
Right.
Like some people call it pecans and some people call it pecans. So some of the pronunciations can come from where you live,
True.
because we have pecans and you have pecans where you live.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's true.
in the South, it's called, and I believe that when mom and dad were overseas, someone offered them a piece of pecan pie.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was pecan.
Yeah.
But so there is that as well, that different areas will pronounce things a little differently just because of where they're at.
True. But I just wanted to say we try to do our best with pronouncing the deities and such of other religions and the religion names, and we don't mean to offend anyone. We're just trying to
Yes.
explain the
Yes.
practices and such. So I hope no one is offended by or upset by our pronunciations. We do try our best.
We don't want to offend anybody. That's why we try to bring in different things into what we research to try to bring it for everybody.
Right.
We can't do an episode for everybody, but we try
Yeah.
to incorporate different things.
So if anyone has any of their ghost stories or spooky legends stories, please feel free to email them to us at psychicbent1@gmail.com. We are still working on our Halloween episode, and if we have more than what we need, then we plan on saving them for the next episode that we do of listener stories. So please feel free to email those to us.
That's awesome. Oh, I did want to, Kim, you want to tell how we did have a listener who listened to our empath series and left a message?
So, yeah, I was really excited because we had somebody listen to our Empaths Part 3 episode about the Heoke and the intuitive empaths. And a crazy Heoke actually commented on it and said, hey, that they liked our episode, and they responded because Carrie had said in that episode, if there's a crazy Heoke out there that would like to say hi to Kim, to do that. And they did. I was so pleased.
She was so excited. She's like, oh, someone's responded. So thank you, listener, for doing that. And you have our utmost respect for being a Heoke
Yes,
empath.
definitely. Yeah, thank you so much for listening and actually responding to us.
We appreciated it so much. So thank you.
Yeah, that we did.
So that wraps up this episode of Psychic Bent. I do hope that you all enjoyed the episode. Keep sending positive energy, vibes, prayers to Western North Carolina. Greatly appreciate that. Appalachians, we are strong, but it's very emotional. But thank you so much. If you want to reach out to us on our Facebook page, it's Psychic Bent Podcast. Kim already gave the email address, so I'm not going to do that again. Anything else you want to add, Kim?
I just wanted to say that our next episode should be our Halloween stories. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yes. So thank you so much, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye. May your light shine bright. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast, Psychic Bent. If you enjoyed Psychic Bent, please like, follow, rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to Psychic Bent. We can be reached on Facebook at Psychic Bent Podcast. Our email address is psychicbent1@gmail.com. May your light shine bright.